Good evening. Welcome to NTD News. I'm Paul Graney. Here are today's top stories. It's Christmas Eve, but hundreds of flights across the country are cancelled, disrupting last-minute travel for many. Surging Omicron cases and airline staffing issues are reportedly to blame. We talked to some last-minute shoppers in New York City to find out what's left to buy for their loved ones. A fatal shooting occurred Thursday in Los Angeles, California. Police have now identified a teenage girl who was struck by a stray bullet during an encounter between police and a suspect. And the first family was busy with holiday festivities on Christmas Eve. The Bidens visited a children's hospital and later NORAD, where they helped answer calls to the Santa Hotline. And the pandemic's taking its toll. So how are kids holding up? Studies say they're having a hard time, and experts warn the damage could be permanent unless people reverse course. As not only COVID, Xi'an, the capital of Shanxi province in China, is also under the shadow of a fatal disease carried by infectious animals. It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas. Hundreds of flights across the country are cancelled on Christmas Eve. Surging virus cases are putting pressure on airlines, and NTD's Iris Tao brings us more from the airport.
More than 2,300 flights worldwide are cancelled on Christmas Eve, including at least 600 across the U.S. Major airlines say staff and crew are calling out sick during the Omicron surge. Delta Airlines has cancelled about 170 flights, according to flight tracking site FlightsAware. And United Airlines scrapped nearly 190, or 1 out of every 10 flights scheduled for Friday. The nationwide issue is also being felt here at LaGuardia Airport in New York. I spoke with a woman who's been sitting at the corner of the airport and waiting for her friend for over 2 hours.
I'm a little sad, but it's Christmas. I'm trying to be happy.
Santo's friend was supposed to meet her for a New York City trip on Christmas Eve, but a heavy delay for her friend's flight leaves Santos waiting and now struggling to fit their activities in the short time left.
Yeah, I understand, and it's a safety matter. There's nothing we can do.
The airlines say they had to cancel flights because of staff shortages related to rising infections, in addition to the possibility of bad weather. Delta says it has exhausted all options and resources, including rerouting and substituting aircraft and crews. The Delta staff at LaGuardia Airport say everyone here whose flights were cancelled has been rebooked, but they can expect delayed arrivals because other direct flights are full and they now have to go through layovers. Amid staffing pressure, leaders of the airline industry are asking the CDC to cut the quarantine time recommended for people who test positive. Workers currently need to isolate for 10 days to get back to work, provided their tests come back negative.
It's not the employee's fault if they're sick, and they're entitled to time off, but it affects everybody, and it's a trickle-down effect. Who knows how many flights will be canceled later on today?
Travel group AAA predicts 6.4 million people will fly during this year-end holiday season. That's nearly triple the number from last year. Iris Tao, NTD News.
Did you buy all the Christmas gifts you need yet? Most of us probably did. But there are still some last-minute shoppers out there. NTD's Arian Pastor took to the streets of Manhattan to find them.
It's Christmas Eve and it's just about time to get cozy at home and enjoy the time with your family. Unless you haven't bought any gifts yet.
It's last-minute Christmas shopping, running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
It's hell breaking loose right now.
Yeah, everything is like sold out.
Manhattan was pretty packed Friday afternoon. Tourists and residents alike going to stores. Many were buying last-minute gifts, but not all of them. Are you shopping for gifts right now?
No, just for myself.
Oh, nah, I wish I was buying gifts right now, man. I'm broke.
The stores and streets might have been full, but for some, that's a cakewalk.
Actually, you can do it 24. It's not that bad, actually.
It's not that in a rush. It's always this way here.
I know what I'm gonna buy, so I literally came from Jersey. I came from the train, went to the store, bought it immediately, and now I'm heading back to my mom's house.
I started off in 14th Street, walked to 34th, Hudson Yards. Now I'm back here. So it's all about knowing where to go, you know.
Welcome! Merry Christmas! Most people didn't shop today, however. According to Statista.com, only 12% of Americans shop for holiday gifts in December. Ariane Pastar, NTD News, New York.
And California police are investigating a fatal shooting that occurred on Thursday. Coroners have now identified a 14-year-old girl who was accidentally fatally shot by officers during an encounter between police and a suspect. NTD's Cynthia Kai has the details.
Around 11:45 a.m. Thursday, Los Angeles police responded to a case of assault and gunfire at a Burlington store in the North Hollywood area of the San Fernando Valley. During an encounter between police and the suspect, a 14-year-old girl was fatally shot by LAPD officers. The Los Angeles County's coroner's office has identified the girl as Valentina Oriana Peralta. LAPD Police Chief Michael Moore said in a statement, officers fired on an assault suspect when a bullet went through the drywall behind the suspect, striking the girl as she was in a dressing room with her mother. Officers found the teenager dead after seeing a hole in the wall, out of the officer's view, when searching for additional suspects or victims. The suspect was also shot and died at the store. The suspect's name has not yet been released. California Attorney General Rob Bonta says the state's Department of Justice would help with the ongoing investigation. Police plan to release more information, 911 calls, radio transmissions, body footage, and CCTV by December 27th. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
And it's Christmas Eve, and for the President and First Lady, Jill Biden, it was a day of holiday festivities. NTD's Shen Yun tells us more.
On Friday, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden brought some Christmas cheer to the Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C., for the children who aren't well enough to go home for the holidays. It's a long-standing tradition for the First Lady to visit the hospital near Christmas, but Joe Biden's visit marked the first time a sitting president had joined in. Jill Biden sat by the Christmas tree and read Olaf's Night Before Christmas to the kids.
Elsa was sleeping all snug in her bed, while glittering northern lights danced overhead.
Later in the day, the Bidens answered calls to the Santa tracking service provided by the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD.
I'll tell you what, a lot done so far. Santa's really moving, man. That Slate taking over 75,000 gumdrops. That's how heavy it is. It's a heavy sleigh, man.
NORAD is a binational military command that issues aerospace and maritime warnings across North America. It showed that Santa launched his reindeer-powered sleigh on Friday. It seems like supply chain issues are no problem for Santa. Chenny Wu, NTD News.
It's been nearly 2 years since the WHO declared COVID-19 a pandemic. The virus has certainly left its mark on the human race, but research tells us U.S. government policies also took their toll. A child psychiatrist says children specifically have had a very rough time. Meanwhile, schools consider returning to online learning due to a spike in cases. NTD's Miguel Moreno reports.
In an interview with The Nation Speaks, child psychiatrist Mark McDonald gave an account of how some of his patients have been affected by COVID-19 policies.
Well, what I see in my practice is children who refuse to make eye contact, who are wetting their pants or wetting the bed at night, cannot go to sleepovers, being away from their mother for extended periods of time. And then in the older group, in the teenagers, they are so wrapped up in social media and phones and Zoom school because they've been trained for the last year and a half that they do not even want to go out anymore. They don't want to play sports. They don't want to see movies.
Officials who support policies that restrict children's social lives generally say these rules are meant to keep children safe and to prevent the spread of disease. But these policies come with consequences. Some studies, for example, have found that many children have suffered socially, emotionally, and cognitively due to school closures and other virus measures.
I really hope that we can recover some of the losses that we've imposed on these young children, ages 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old and on up. but I fear that there's going to be scars. I fear that we are going to see some permanent handicap, the degree to which is just simply unclear at this point.
McDonald says that in his view, the longer people wait to return children to a normal life, the more they'll be hurt by the policies in question. Miguel Moreno, NTD News.
You can catch the full interview on The Nation Speaks with Cindy Drukier. That's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on NTD News. While experiencing harsh lockdowns over the CCP virus, another virus is now reportedly plaguing the Chinese city of Xi'an. Interviewees close to the matter suggest the real number of patients may be much larger than officially reported.
COVID-19, caused by the CCP virus, is not the only disease that's plaguing the city of Xi'an in northwestern China. There's reportedly an outbreak of epidemic hemorrhagic fever, an infectious disease that can cause severe, life-threatening illness. China's state-run media reported multiple cases, but residents say a lot more were killed. And all designated clinics for treating epidemic hemorrhagic fever are packed with patients. According to the CDC, the disease is caused by a hantavirus, which is carried and transmitted by rodents. Symptoms include high fever, cough, shortness of breath, and abdominal or back pain. Internet users in China say there's an unusually large number of mice in farmers' strawberry greenhouses. There are so many that even some local government clerks are required to go to catch them during work hours. The Epoch Times spoke to the son of a patient who's contracted epidemic hemorrhagic fever in Xi'an. For safety reasons, we've distorted his voice and only identified him by his last name. Mr. Chen's father began to show symptoms of a high fever in mid-December and was diagnosed shortly after. Mr. Chen said he saw many patients in the hospital. He says the ICU at another local hospital is full. Patients now have to be taken to the emergency room before they can be hospitalized.
And Japan will not send a government delegation to the Beijing Winter Games. Only Olympic Committee officials will be attending. This announcement is in line with several other democratic countries. The U.S., along with Australia, New Zealand, Britain, and Canada, have also announced diplomatic boycotts. They will not send government officials to the Games in protest of China's human rights abuses. And South Korea's President Moon Jae-in granted a pardon to the country's former leader today. She's in prison after being convicted of corruption. The Justice Ministry made the announcement today. 69-year-old Park became South Korea's first democratically elected leader to be thrown out of office. The country's constitutional court upheld a 2017 vote to impeach her over a corruption scandal. She was found guilty of colluding with a confidant to receive tens of billions of won from major conglomerates. That money was used to help her family and fund nonprofit foundations she owned. Park has served about 4 years and 8 months in prison, but she'll be freed on December 31st. And still to come, an annual California Christmas celebration is back this year. People came out to enjoy the festivities and shared what Christmas means to them. And in the NBA, the Christmas Day slate is coming up. There are 5 games in the schedule, including a matchup between the top 2 teams in the league. That and more here on NTD News.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. Cancel culture has not only affected myself and MyPillow, but millions of you out there. Before all this started, I had already written in my memoir, I dedicate this book to anyone that's looking for hope. Well, right now, we're all looking for hope. I believe that my story is going to bring inspiration and hope to everyone. By the time you're done reading my book, you will believe that with God, all things are possible. To thank you all for your support, I'm offering some of my best prices ever on MyPillow products, including this exclusive bundle. You get my book and these 5 MyPillows. videos. They all have beautiful scenes and verses from the Bible, such as Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. This 6-pack bundle is regularly $219. Now it's just $99.98 and free shipping with your promo code. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below. Thank you and God bless.
Oh, hey, doesn't it feel like there's communists everywhere? In fact, the Chinese Communist Party has been subverting America from every angle. So whether it's compromising our politicians, controlling Hollywood, manipulating Wall Street, or infiltrating our schools, they have stopped at nothing to take down America. And I believe that in order for us to not become like China, we need citizens who know the truth. So go on over to getepic.com, stay informed with a subscription to the Epic Times, and you will get instant access to this infographic.
And San Jose's annual Christmas festivities are back and in person this year. People came out to enjoy the lights and the merriment with friends and family. NTD's Cynthia Kai spoke to some locals about what the Christmas spirit means to them.
San Jose's annual Christmas in the Parks is back in person this year. Many people came out to enjoy the colorful lights, music, and festivities.
I love that it has just the Christmas spirit and the holiday cheer. Everything is here, from the Christmas tree, the lights. It's kind of like you're here in Disneyland and you don't have to go all the way to LA for it.
I think just hanging out, something to do, and come hang out and check out all the decorations and the lights and the skating park and stuff.
Visitors shared what the Christmas spirit means to them.
To me, the true meaning of Christmas is just this story, that knowing that Jesus came, that God sent him, and he came here to earth as a baby and grew up. Because of that, we're able to have life with him afterwards in heaven. And so who wouldn't want that? It's a great hope. And it gives us hope when we're in days on earth where it's not so hopeful. We have that hope.
Park visitors also shared what their Christmas wishes are.
Maybe just for all of us to continue to be kind, everyone be safe and healthy. It's been a crazy past 2 years, so just moving forward for just a nice holiday and for everyone to be safe and to have a safe Christmas.
One little girl wished to plant a tree for Christmas.
So then we don't have to buy a Christmas tree. We can just get that tree and put decorations on it, call it a day.
Oh, a pine tree.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she wants to plant a pine tree in the front yard so that we can decorate it.
Many people wished for health, happiness, and for the pandemic to go away.
For us to go back to normal, everybody. Because I feel like everybody was so affected by, the pandemic and lost loved ones. So
I hope people stay healthy. I hope we can continue to move in the right direction with the COVID. And I hope people enjoy their time with their families.
Above all, people wished to spend time with family for Christmas.
I feel like as you grow up, you start realizing what it is. And it's mostly about family, health, love, who you have.
I think the most important thing is being around people who love you, who support you. And I think especially with COVID, that's much more important to everyone now.
I guess just for families, those that would like to have their families together, to be able to be together.
Merry Christmas!
Ho, ho, ho.
After a year of lockdowns, people say they're glad to celebrate the Christmas spirit once again with family and friends. From our whole California team, we wish you a safe, warm, and Merry Christmas. Cynthia Kai, NTD News.
And this week's storm brought much-needed rain and snow to California. But now there are possible flood threats and more. NTD's David Lamb reports.
California saw much-needed rain with downpours overnight this week. A station manager at the UC Berkeley Snow Lab recorded the snowpack in Central Sierra on Friday morning.
Plenty of snow coming down. I just finished with the 8 a.m. measurement.
and it seems that we've gotten about 2 feet of snow in the last 24 hours.
He said the power went out Thursday around 10:30 at night.
So we've got probably close to 6, 7, maybe even 8 feet of snow out here in spots. Looking like a snowy Christmas Eve.
Also in the Sierra Nevada, there were reports of a loud explosion sound at the Twain Harte Lake Dam on Thursday. Investigators found cracks to the granite at the dam, but determined the dam is structurally sound and clear for continued use. In Southern California, parts of Highway 101 in San Luis Obispo closed down on Thursday due to rain-related flooding.
We are doing work and we need the whole roadway to do this. This is why we have it closed up here. We are trying to do what we can, so please be patient with us.
Part of State Route 18 closed due to a slip-out, according to a spokesperson with the California Department of Transportation. An atmospheric river or a skyborne plume of moisture from the Pacific Ocean was fueling California's weather, according to the Associated Press.
As the rain comes down, add a little bit more time to your commute if you'd like to. Slow down, make sure there's a little bit more room between you and the car in front of you. If it's raining, have your headlights on.
The National Weather Service predicts there will be heavy rain and snow through the western U.S. over the Christmas weekend. Be sure to have a safe holiday. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
And in sports news, the NBA will run their standard Christmas slate of 5 high-profile matchups featuring the 2 top teams in the league. The NFL, the first 2 picks in this year's draft will face off on the gridiron as Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars visit Zach Wilson and the Jets. NTD's Dave Martin has the details.
The Golden State versus Phoenix match Saturday features the best 2 records in the league, despite the Warriors still playing without 5-time All-Star Klay Thompson, who is targeting a January return. Thompson hasn't played since Game 6 of the 2019 NBA Finals. Meanwhile, the star-studded Nets-Lakers matchup loses some of its luster as Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis are all out. This will be the first game played at the newly named Crypto.com Arena, formerly known as the Staples Center. Elsewhere, the Celtics play at the Bucks, the Jazz host the Mavs, and the Hawks square off against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. In the NFL, the lowly Jaguars and Jets face off Sunday, but with an interesting wrinkle. This marks just the 4th time that quarterbacks selected first and second in the same draft will meet as rookies. However, neither Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence nor New York's Zach Wilson is having a good season. The 2 are ranked 31st and 32nd respectively in passer rating. Finally, on the college gridiron, Florida was upset by in-state rival Central Florida 29-17 in the Gasparilla Bowl Thursday night. The loss gives the Gators their 3rd losing season in the last 9. For the upstart Knights, the win was their first ever over Florida and gave first-year head coach Gus Malzahn a successful 9-4 season. I'm Dave Martin, NTD News, New York.
Still to come. A look at how Vancouver, Canada welcomes the holiday season. Holiday spirit in the city has produced some of the most spectacular Christmas light displays. One family's decorations took about a month to prepare. And on the other side of the world, many gathered in Bethlehem to celebrate Christmas Eve at Manger Square. This is said to be the birthplace of Jesus. That and more when we return.
You worked hard for your money. You invest in stability for your retirement and your family's future, to build and leave them with something greater. The next unprecedented financial crisis, political misstep, or unstable government can depreciate it all away. It was called the gold standard for a reason, the financial preservation of tomorrow. Diversify your assets against inflation, market volatility, and the unknown with real money. Hedge your wealth with the purest form of money, physical gold and silver. Because any currency printed on paper can be manipulated. What's backing up your IRA? Do what you need to do right now to be prepared with the Reagan Gold Group. Visit now, rggusakit.com, or call us at 866-912-1384. Receive up to $2,500 in free silver coins and a free safe with your new precious metals IRA. Call now.
Now we take a glimpse into what the holiday season looks like in Vancouver, Canada. The city's major transportation authority is continuing with its tradition of over 35 years of giving toys to children. They've delivered over 85,000 toys to date.
Every year in Vancouver, Canada, city streets are filled with holiday decorations. And this year is no exception. Colorful lights hang on trees and houses, and people are enjoying holiday festivities. One of Metro Vancouver's most incredible home Christmas light displays is put up by the Duplessis family. It's been this family's tradition for over 20 years to put up extraordinary holiday spectacles. It's also been this family's tradition to donate to British Columbia's Children's Hospital. Last year, the family raised nearly $17,000 in donations. During the holiday season, donations are a common sight to see, and Vancouver's major transportation authority, TransLink, is continuing with its tradition of giving toys to children. They call it Toys for Tots.
This is the 36th year of Toys for Tots. The previous 35 years, we have delivered 86,912 presents.
The transit company employees go around collecting donated toys in the greater Vancouver area. The toys are then delivered to families in need.
It's always satisfying seeing this loaded bus with toys, knowing that so many children are going to get a wonderful present this Christmas that wouldn't have without.
This year, the Toys for Tots team delivered more than 2,100 toys and more than $2,000 in cash to Vancouver's Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau.
And hundreds of people gathered to celebrate Christmas Eve at Bethlehem's Manger Square. It's the traditional birthplace of Jesus. The crowd, though, is still much smaller this year compared to pre-pandemic levels. That's due to travel restrictions and concerns about the Omicron variant. NTD's Jason Perry has the story.
Bethlehem's Manger Square in the West Bank is the place where Jesus is said to have been born. The square is decorated with lights and a tall Christmas tree in the middle. Nearly all who gathered in the biblical city were local residents or visitors from nearby due to travel restrictions because of the Omicron variant.
Jesus was born in Bethlehem, right there. So what a better place to come celebrate his birth. So it's wonderful, the tree, everything is so wonderful. So we're very happy, very joyful. Bring the joy to the world.
Christmas carols filled the air. Children played with balloons as others spent time looking at the nativity scene. McKenna Swindle, who is an American student studying in Jerusalem, got a new perspective on Christmas.
Before Christmas for me was about spending time with family and like being around friends, but this is really cool to think about like, oh, I'm here because I believe in Jesus Christ and I get to celebrate that more.
Bethlehem hosted 3.5 million visitors during its last pre-pandemic winter. Jason Perry, NTD News, New York.
That's all for today's news. Have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for tuning in. And from everyone at NTD, enjoy the holiday. We'll see you on the 26th.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Did you know YouTube only keeps selective videos on its platform? So if you want to make sure you get the full picture, just subscribe to our newsletter. Go to newsletter.ntd.com and sign up. It's free.